It is a beautiful fall day here in Northwest Indiana, even though it's about the middle of November. And I'm going to come out and harvest the rest of my carrots. I plant my carrots in a raised bed, which right now actually has my late fall crop of greens growing in it. But this had carrots the whole way, and I've already harvested the carrots that I planted in early spring, and those are in the freezer and canned. But I also planted a little crop of these probably the middle of July or so. And I wasn't sure if they would grow or not, but they are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them out, and we are going to talk about storing and harvesting your carrots. You can pretty much harvest your carrots whenever they're a size that you like. I like to have them a little bit bigger, and you can see a little bit in here that they do have some decent size to them. But again, you can do them whenever you want. When I pull some out, I can see that they're a really nice size. They're still kind of young. Some of them are going to be bigger, but this is a great size. And my soil in this raised bed is super soft. But if you have any kind of hard compacted soil at all, you are going to want to go around the carrots very carefully with a digging fork or tine or a little shovel or something to kind of loosen the soil around them, or otherwise you are going to break them off, and you don't want that. Or the greens are going to pull off the top and you're going to be frustrated because your carrot's stuck in the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some out. It's a beautiful sunny cool day, and I'm going to leave these out in the sun for a few hours just to dry any moisture off, because I'm going to also be storing a few of these in my refrigerator and want them to last for a little bit. If you were going to freeze them or can them, there's no need to do that because you're just going to take them right in and wash them. All the carrots are out of the ground, and I'm quite pleased with my last minute planting of carrots from this summer. They're a great size. I like to use this size. I think they taste really well. They're not too big at this point, and there's enough to mess with. So I'm happy with the size. I should also note that I understand you can leave the carrots in the ground until the ground actually starts to freeze and you can no longer dig them. That's another way that you can store them. But to be honest, there's a time when I am just done with gardening, and I've reached that at this point now. And I'm just ready to get this stuff out of the garden and taken care of. So we're going to let these carrots sit here for maybe an hour in the sun just to dry off a little bit more. They still have the greens attached, and I'm going to be taking all those greens off. If you're going to store them fresh or freeze them or whatever you're going to do, the greens need to come off, and you can compost them, do whatever you like. My bunny loves to eat them, so I'm going to keep a little bag of those in the fridge for my bunny to eat the next couple days. But otherwise, you're just going to get rid of those, and then we're going to store them. I took all the greens off my carrots, and I went ahead and put them in a box and brought them inside. And you can see that they've got still a little bit of dirt clinging to them. And all I'm going to do is get a towel here. I'm going to brush some of that dirt off, but not too much. It's okay to have a little bit of dirt when you're going to store them in the refrigerator, because what you don't want is wet in there. They're going to store a lot better without the wet. So I still see some green tops on there that I'm going to get off as well. We don't want that in the bags. And I'm going to go ahead and brush off this dirt, and I'm going to put them in a bowl. Okay, I got my carrots all brushed off and got out any ones that looked rotten. I also sorted them. These are smaller ones that I'm going to keep in a separate bag to maybe use for my daughter's lunches, to make them into smaller pieces with some dressing for her, ranch dressing. And then these are the bigger ones, and I'm going to store them in the bigger bag. We are going to eat cooked carrots a lot for the next few weeks. And I'm hoping that they will stay fresh in the refrigerator for at least 2 weeks. I think we can get those eaten by then. I'd also like to encourage you to look into this sawdust method that you can store them fresh in for a lot longer, especially if you grow a lot. You don't necessarily want to freeze them all. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds really interesting, but I didn't get around to it this year. So that's another way you can store them. My favorite tried and true ways are to can them. It requires a pressure canner, so make sure that you are reading how to safely can. And the other is freezing. They're so easy to freeze and use all through the winter. I use my favorite vacuum pack sealer, and these things will stay fresh until next year when I've got new ones coming. So lots of ways you can store them. With my carrots, I'm going to peel them and cook them first. You want to peel them first, but store them with the peels on. And I'm going to put them in just the regular storage Ziploc bags in my refrigerator, and that should keep them pretty fresh. Thanks for watching.